Well, thank you everybody for coming out to help us honor and recognize Putnam County's third county executive, Bob Bondi, for this special ceremony. We just came back from traveling part of the county. We were driving around, visiting Tilly Foster Farm, Putnam County Golf Course, viewing the facility, seeing a bunch of familiar faces, and I got a wealth of knowledge that I just obtained in a short period of time by listening to a lot of different stories. Who else knew that there was marble in the bathroom in the county executive's office where there were like notes stuffed in behind by the judges or something? All sorts of wild things that I learned, but very impressive. There's a lot of people that we want to recognize that are here, but I'm going to ask a few people for the opportunity to say a few words before I turn it over to Mr. Bondi, and that's with the people that work closest to him, his former deputy county executives. I know we're joined here by Dan Birmingham, Frank Del Campo, John Tully, are all here, and I'm not sure if we even gave them any notice. We probably didn't, but I think I saw Dan Birmingham somewhere. Dan, would you like to say a few words?
Oh, come on, I'll be honored. Okay. Hey, Bob, how are you?
Hi, Dan. How are you?
Well, first of all, I want to say Putnam County wouldn't be Putnam County the way it is today if it wasn't for you. Yeah. He changed the way we think about government, not only as county executive, but he served for 11 years as a county legislator, serving as the first legislator on the first legislature of Putnam County starting in 1980. He was our first chairman, and he led us through some tough economic times. A lot of us recall that. And if it wasn't for his economic and financial background, if it wasn't for his fortitude in the face of some real difficult times, I think we'd have a very different, not only county budget these days, but a very different county workforce. Working here in Putnam County was like working with a family when Bob was here. And that feeling has continued, and it's because of Bob. So I want to thank Bob for everything he's done for Putnam County, and thank you for being a great friend to me. Thank you.
I think I jumped the gun here. We have a number of dignitaries we're going to recognize, but since I started with the deputy county execs that served with Bob, I'm going to keep that going, and then I'll fill in with recognizing everybody else as the ceremony continues. I know we're also joined by a dear friend, served for many years as Carmel Town Supervisor and also as deputy county executive, Frank Del Campo. Where did I see Frank?
Well, first of all, somebody said to me in 2003, why the heck are you leaving the supervisor's office? This was Dick Othman, a wonderful friend of mine, the previous supervisor. He's a wonderful man. And he said, you could stay here forever. You'll never leave it. I said, well, there's a man up there that I played stickball with and baseball with and played hockey with down in Lake Bowling, Bob Bondi. And I said, you know, he's doing some great things up there. And being the supervisor, you get it to a point where you know it's bigger than your own town. And you know if you can get up to the county, you can merge a little bit more and get more things done, even for your own town, if you're not selfish. And Bob was never selfish, and I was never selfish. We tried to help all the towns and villages. And what impressed me the most about Bob was his team. I see them now. I mean, you know, Carl and Tully. I'm leaving somebody at Eldridge, Honix, even Dick, and the camaraderie that they had there. And there was, you know, so many good people that it made everything gel. And there were tough times in 2003 to 2006. And then when I realized that, wow, he could help me bury the wires on 52. He said to me, you think you can get it done? I said, well, if you get Ernie Nostrom to help me in physical services to get some money, I've been dealing with the city, and they said, well, if you pitch in, NYSEC will bury the wires. So, make a long story short, this man got a hold of Ernie and some of the other legislators. I want to give everybody credit. That may have been Dan might have been there at that time, too. And sure enough, he came up with a balance, and we buried the wires. Then I said, I want to widen 52. He said, go ahead, see if you can do it. So I spoke to the DEP, and unfortunately, one of the magazines that was out that night, that year, newspaper, had Frank Del Campo with all these cars going into Lake Oneida. Frank's Folly. And I remember saying to him, is this going to be a problem with you? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Sure enough, we all got praise for the fact that we moved it maybe, I would say, a car length, which we really needed to make the transport. So there were some good times. The negotiations with Tilly Forster with the DEP. He had the innovation and the smarts to know that deals could be made if you're truthful and if you're straightforward and you're honest about what you're trying to do. We did the same thing with the golf course. I remember we were up midnight hoping to make the deal. We were sitting in his office and the deal was made. Look at the golf course. Look at Tilly Forster. This is the man that I was just coming along for the rides. But it was a great 3 years for me. His family is a wonderful family, Marilou and the kids. And we don't see each other. I'm hiding in the library as a volunteer for the last 17 years. If you went to Lake Mayapack's library, you might bump into me. But I personally want to thank all of you here who had any opportunity to greet me and meet with me and help me. Thank you very much for your great help. And I think we were a team, all of us. It wasn't this back and forth fighting. So, Bob, you deserve this. This should have been done a while ago, but 20 years is a good thing to do. And I'm happy for you, and I wish you and Mary Lou many more years of good health up at your farm. And God bless all of you. Thank you.
So we have another former deputy county executive that's here in person. That's our director of purchasing and central services, who saw it through, not just as deputy county executive for Bob, but also with Paul Eldridge for that 1 year or 11 months. And I want to make sure I recognize and ask John Tolley if he'll come up here to say.
I'll try to be brief. This is the I guess at least the second time that I've followed Dan Birmingham and Frank Del Campo. But what I'd really like to say to everyone is why we're here today from my words. Bob is a man that as long as I've known him, either as deputy or as a department head or colleague working for him and as a friend, Bob always instilled mission and vision and what was in the best interest of the citizens of Putnam County, and doing his best to always maintain fiscal conservatism. And so, keeping it really short, Bob, I just want to thank you for everything that you've done for this county and instilling a sense of public service in the people who work for Putnam County and making it the great place that it is today, and passing the torch on to Paul Eldridge, Marion Odell, and County Executive Byrne. And I really appreciate my time working for you and serving in your administration.
There's another former deputy county executive that couldn't be here today, and I'll address that in a little bit because there's a video, a short video. But I want to recognize some other people that are gonna, I think, are here. I'm not sure if they were going to try to make it. It's just kind of hard to see for anyone that views it at home. I think it's going to be for the county's YouTube channel. The lobby's filled, so I'm sure there's people tucked away behind. Our Sheriff Kevin McConville, our Sheriff's Office is here. Our District Attorney Bob Tendy. I did see Bob. Bob, I know, also served as Town Supervisor of Putnam Valley when you were as County Executive. We also have our County Clerk, Michael Bartolotti. Many of our legislators are here. I see Chairman Paul Yankee, Ginny Nasserino, Tony Adonisio, our Deputy Chair, Amy Sage. Here's everybody else.
Bill Gould.
Oh, Bill Gouldman's here.
You missed
I went this Bill.
Here.
It's Bill's trying to be Santa Claus in February. So it's going to be very stylish. I also see a good friend, former county legislator Sam Oliverio is here as well. Is there anybody else from the legislature?
Tony.
Tony, where's Tony Hay? Hey, Tony, always, trying to be the star of the show. Tony Hayes here as well. Yes, thank you, State Supreme Court Judge Grossman, Victor Grossman. Thank you for being here. Let me see if there's anybody else I'm missing here. We have a lot of folks. When we reached out to Bob, we talked about doing this for a while. We're just trying to get schedules in line, but a few people he very specifically said make sure that they're aware of this too, and that list continued to grow, by the way, in time. One of them was Paul Eldridge too, who was our fourth county executive, served at a very difficult time, and continues to serve as our director of personnel. Dr. Michael Neshuat. Is Vinny Tamania here too, by any chance? Where's Vinny? Is Vinny? He's going to try to make it. I'll give a shout out to Vinny Tamania. He works as our director of transportation, but was the chair of the legislature. And actually, he shared this with me. It was one of his more final acts in the legislature was he advocated for the funding to help get this plaque almost 12 years ago. So I think Vinny deserves that special piece of recognition. Former commissioners of finance that serve with Bob, Bill Carlin, also Mike Piazza from Social Services, Mental Health. I think I have that list on my list. I'm sure I'm missing people. I am terribly sorry, but that's what they gave me. Lots of department heads. I see our Republican election commissioner, Kelly Primavera, is here as well. I do want to ask Paul Eldridge if he's going to say a few words. Where's Paul? So Paul worked with Bob for many, many years, but also took the reins in 2011.
Really good.
All right.
You should have a chance. It's interesting when I had the opportunity to work with Bob when he was on the county legislature for 11 years, and then following as the county exec for 20. When I first got involved with Bob, we were kind of locking horns on occasion.
We still are.
We'll argue that out later. And we had a fateful, helpful ride up to Cornell University to go to the Cardi Institute.
Yes.
It was just Bob and I. And I wanted to drive because I thought we'd get there in about 3.5 hours. Bob insisted on driving, and it took 5.5. But be that as it may, we had a great opportunity to talk with each other. And Bob is a different thinker than I am. And what I said to Bob at the time was, we are different thinkers, but if we combine our thoughts, I think the decision that we come to may be better. And he was very open to that, and I appreciate that. And from that point forward, we did that for years. I've always admired you, Bob. I continue to admire you. And you were wonderful for this county, and I'm particularly happy about the fact that Tilly Foster Farm was preserved. That could have been condos, and it could have been single-family houses. And Bob had the foresight to save it and to have it for generations to come. So thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your friendship and continued health. And thanks for being our county exec for 20 years.
So when you see the plaque, you also see that it doesn't just highlight the service that Bob had as county executive, but also it's over 30 years of service, including his service as a county legislator. So I'm going to ask our chairman of the Putnam County Legislature, Paul Yonke, if he has anything he'd like to share.
Hi, Paul. Congratulations. On behalf of the legislature, I just want to say congratulations, Bob. This is a long time coming, but it's better late than never. I do want to say on a personal note, I miss golfing with you. Back probably in the mid-90s, we would get together at functions, and Bob knew how to pick teams, and we were on some winning teams back in the 90s and early 2000s, and I miss that. I miss golfing with you. But it's great to see you, Bob.
Thank you very much.
And before I turn it over to Bob, people know that Bob had a large history of service, not just in government, but also as a volunteer firefighter. We have representatives from the Mahopac or Mahopac Volunteer Fire Department. I'm going to ask them if they're going to hear. Yeah, I don't want to get stoned. So,
Thank you very much.
thank you, Chief.
I'm Chief Rivera, Mahopac Volunteer Fire Department. Bob not only helped people on a grand scale of things, but he also got in the street. And with the EMS, Bob was a huge factor, and I also ran some calls with him and got to see him in action. So you've touched many people all the way down to a personal level. I know we, the members of the Mahopac Fire Department, the citizens in the town of Mahopac appreciate your service.
Thank you very much. Okay, one more thing we got. This video, I hope this works, sorry. So there was a former deputy county executive that was once a sheriff. Man of few words, Sheriff Don Smith. So funny story, and love you, Don. Love you, Sheriff. The man of few stars, former Brigadier General. He said, Kevin, I'm so sorry I can't make it. I'm so glad you guys are doing this for Bob Bondi. It means so much. I tried to send you this video. I'm going to text it to you, but my phone wouldn't allow me to text you the video. So he sent 6 videos for our team to try. So I think we're picking the best one of those 6, so it's 2 minutes and not 12. But our team, Sheriff, God bless you. We're going to try to share this on behalf of former Sheriff, former Deputy County Executive Don Smith.
Well, I could go on and on. During his 20-year tenure as our 3rd county executive, Putnam County, but I can just tell you this. Bob is a man of high integrity. I mean, I saw it each and every day. He was a man of conviction. When Bob had his mind set on something, it was going to get done for the citizens of Putnam County. He was a person who really wanted to get the viewpoint of all the citizens. He worked with Democrats, especially strong leaders like Jim Gordon, but Democrats across the leadership spectrum. And he always wanted to make sure that every voice was heard. And he did not take disagreement as disloyalty. Disloyalty would be having an idea and not sharing it with the team. And that's where Bob Bondi excelled. I think there are many people, I hope some of them are there today in person, like Bill Carlin and Paul Eldridge and Mike Piazza and so many of our leaders today. Remember that Bob was a real team builder.
All right.
Bob, I just want to mention your former chief of staff, Lisa Dennick, is very upset she could not be here today. I spoke with her yesterday. She didn't have enough advance notice. She got a very high position in Westchester County, big surprise. So she was very sorry. She wanted to wish you the best, and she wished she could have been here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris. So with that, I'm going to look at my Chris, former son. We're good. We're doing good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. So I think what we're ready to do is ready to turn over to you, Bob. Again, before we do the unveiling of the plaque, I just want to share with you the county's appreciation for your many years of service to this county. For those of you who don't notice, like a lot of county executives put their own little flavor to things. My predecessor very much posted the bicentennial seal for the county, and one of the things when I became county executive is we tried to reinstate the more traditional feel and logo of what Putnam County used to be under the Bondi administration. And Bob actually came in wearing a windbreaker that had Putnam County, the logo, just like the one that's covering the plaque right now. I feel like that was kind of important because as I was coming into politics, coming back from college, it was kind of around the same time with Sue Kelly and Ann Hayworth while Bob was trying to do his exit. But Bob Bondi and the Bondi administration still impacted my life. As someone that grew up in Putnam County, I just want to say thank you, Bob. We appreciate all your years of service. I appreciate the time that you give me on the phone when I call for advice, the wisdom that you have, and that you willingly share. One of the things that I like to do, I started this in the assembly, is we have a challenge coin, not paid for at taxpayer expense. But it's got an imprint of that county logo that says Putnam County, New York, not to be confused with Putnam County, Florida, Tennessee, or Illinois, or any other Putnam County. This is the only one that really matters. And I have a pin that also has that dons the Putnam County seal and logo. So again, thank you.
Well, I pray that I won't forget some of the things I had hoped to say today to some of you, to thank you for everything. So let me start by not forgetting the person who was responsible for putting this together today, County Executive Kevin Byrne. Thank you. And going around the room, there's one person who I should mention. My wife could not be here today because my son and my wife are working at the farm, and they would have liked to have been here, but I do have my wife's sister who's here, and her husband, Carol Cavallero, and Tony. Also in the room are many of the people that I worked with over the years and I served with, and I would like to say a few words about them. Two in particular who were there for the most part the entire time I was there, and who challenged me to give them all the information and facts I had that I would be able to share with them, and that I could share and I needed to share with them. And they challenged me in every way possible to do the right thing and the right job. They're people that on many occasions, like with Paul Eldridge, we argued and fought, but they were also sound, hardworking people who served their country in the military, in the Army. They came back after Vietnam and served the county government for many years in the legislature, and then went on to serve their towns as town supervisor. And I'm referring to Tony Hay and Sam Oliverio. I really appreciate working with you guys over the years, and you've done a wonderful job in your careers. I appreciate all the men from the Mapac Fire Department who came out today. I don't know how you knew about this, but we tried to keep it a secret, I guess. I see Carl. Thank you, Carl, for being here today. I also served over a lot of years, and I had the opportunity to serve with our judge, Victor Grossman. Thanks, Judge, for being here today. Well, you know, one thing about a plaque, if you age and you get wrinkles and your hair disappears, it doesn't show up. So I'm very pleased that County Executive Byrne put up the plaque, because I'm always going to look the way I do. The only problem I think I'm going to have is I won't be able to tell which one is mine. My eyes are failing. You know, I might go over to Tony Hay's plaque or whatever. So that'll be the way it'll go. Over the years, I had the opportunity to work with a lot of great people, and that includes 500 plus rank and file employees of the county. They are the ones that actually did all the work. We would pass resolutions and make policies, and they would do the work. And I'm forever grateful to all the union workers and all the management workers that we had over that period of time. It was an incredible period of time. And speaking of things that we were taught to do, when I first started, I had the privilege and opportunity to work with the senior member of the Board of Supervisors, Joseph Percocello from Phillipstown. And he was a pleasure to work with in a variety of ways, a real gentleman. And one thing he always taught me, and I shared it with County Executive Byrne, was his technique for evaluating whether we should vote for something or do something for the county's residents. And it was pretty simple. and it's good advice for all of us in life too. Does it help the people, is what he said. Does it help the people? And you have to ask that question, you also have to answer it. And it's not easy all the time to answer, but it leads you generally to the right directions. In working the years that I was here, I had the opportunity to work with some people that were here even before me, like Paul Eldridge, and after me, like Paul Eldridge. And I suspect he'll be here after everybody.
Just celebrated my 100th birthday.
But there were also some people that came here right around the time I arrived, and they were a lot of fun to work with. And one of them I went to college with, and I think he's hiding back there, Mike Piazza. No. And the other ones were Bill Carlin, who I didn't argue with as much as Paul. I certainly argued with Paul and Mike. They were, which one did I yell the most at? I'm not sure.
They try to take our money.
Yeah, exactly. That was a good way to look at it, right? And John Tully, who we assigned to just about every department. And he kept doing well, too. But I've also had the opportunity of starting out with Sally Cipher, and I see she's still here, and I'm gone. So I like to see what they would do with you with a plaque. And then, of course, probably one of the biggest issues in my life was getting involved with a group of residents from the town of Paterson. And if you want to hear some strange things, I basically became county executive by winning one town. And that's good advice. You don't have to win all 6. But you got to win that one by 99% of the vote. So that is what happened. And it's really because of the people in the town of Paterson that I had a career like I did. And I think about that all the time. I tried to meet up to your standards. And you were a great town, and you did so much to help the county and put us on the right track for the future. So I really appreciate you being here today, and all the good people from Paterson that I got to meet over the years. Well, I don't want to say too much, or else there'll be talk about taking the plaque down. But I do want to thank all of you for being here today, and my cousin Ralph, who just came in. Thank you, Ralph, for being here. And I'm just very grateful that I had the opportunity to serve here in this capacity that I was in, and to work with so many wonderful people that have had such an impact on my life. Thank you.
Thank you. So we did kind of joke about this because there's only 3 plaques, and this is the plaque is right over here. It's a portrait style plaque, so it's a little larger. So you have the biggest plaque. So we were saying it must be in proportion to the length of service. But Bob, get on over here and let's open this plaque. Maybe you want to get your deputy county execs that serve with you in your administration, Dan, John, Frank. Again, I think you want to be a part of it. Looks like you're take this down. I'm the short guy here. Are you ready? You want to help take that? You're taller than me, Bob. You can probably help take this little clip out. I'll do it. Ready? And we want to count down 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Here we go.